Alright guys, so in the last video I gave you a tour of my main box, which is my snap-on roll cart. This is my overflow box that I store all my specialty tools in, overflow sockets, wrenches, pliers, everything like that. Also, it's a housing of all my battery chargers, batteries, fluids that I need, Loctite, grease, assembly lubes, anti-seize, my ball hone that's for the 5.3s and 4.8 LS motors. Also keep my 3D printer on here in case I need to fab up something. I can 3D print it first before I waste any metal. But alright, for the first drawer. So in here I have all my extra sockets. Also is where I keep all of my 12-point sockets that I don't use very much. Also have a spare impact driver. Pass-through socket set that I don't think I've ever used, but it's always good to have one handy. This is my slide hammer that I made. It's used for pulling the steering columns out a little further on the Fox bodies, because some of the aftermarket K members you can't get the like if you're using a let's say a manual steering rack to get the steering shaft to mate to the steering column, you got to pull the steering column out a little bit, so this just makes it a little bit easier. And here is all of my air tools that I don't ever use. All went strictly to battery powered. And here is where I keep all my specialty tools. Over here in the corner, those are for the engine stand bolts, crank pulley install kit, a pinning kit for your crank pulleys. I have a piston ring filer. This is a block that I made for LSA blowers, so take the snout off, you can put it in here so you can press pulleys on. Then I have a valve spring compressor, a flywheel holding tool, I have some piston ring pliers, a piston ring compressor, and this is the 5.3/4.8 size. This is a piston ring squaring tool that I made on the 3D printer. Push rod, checker, some crank pulley bolts that I use to reinstall a crank pulley, a plug for the side of the block, a spark plug gapper, and these are some head bolts that have been milled out to use as thread chasers. And then that's my cam install tool. Here are my extra pliers, also where I keep my little rivet gun. And here's some woodworking tools. I have the Craig pocket screw jig, some hole saws, some paddled hole saw, I guess spade bits, some clamps, some air tool stuff, things that go to my air hammer. Down in here I have my grease gun, a couple shop lights, timing light, 3-jaw puller. Over here is a Pittsburgh dent puller. It actually works pretty good. Super glues like a little plunger to the dent. Some Allen keys that I cut up. This is a bag of rolled wrenches that we got with our CNC machine at work. Some old Craftsman and cheap socket wrenches. And here is a Amazon, Volkswagen, Audi scanner that I use to get rid of airbag light when I replace the clock spring in my Jetta. Some screwdrivers, some O-rings, cotter pins, stuff to hang pictures, ball bearings, kind of random, and kind of a junk drawer. Got some jetting kits, some manuals to Wrangler, Buell, Cherokee, miscellaneous other stuff. Well, that's my overflow cart. Not very special, but hope you guys enjoyed.